All right, we're just looking to get your input here. All right, so hi, everybody. I'm Ashley Marie from Vinyl Rhino, local band, here at Making Music in Frederick, Maryland, and this is our first episode of Local Live. So when I'm not performing with my band, my favorite thing to do is go see other acts, and one that definitely is always a delight to watch is my buddy, Mr. Dan McGuire. So Dan's here today.
Hello.
Hey, hi everybody. So how long have you been playing, Dan?
I started playing music when I was about 5 years old.
Okay.
I started playing piano, played classically. I competed a little bit when I was a lot younger. Picked up a guitar when I was about 11. I've been playing guitar ever since. I've been singing my whole life. Singing's kind of my passion. So, yeah, I mean, I started playing, I guess, in front of people when I was in college, and been doing that in Frederick kind of the last 6 or 7 years. And
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So who are your influences?
I would say my influences, they kind of come in stages. My first influence probably would be my mom. She always sang. She loved to sing. And I guess after that, you know, when I was growing up, my influences were, I was influenced a lot by singers, female singers. My dad was really big into female singers, and then I started listening to, you know, guys that could sing like females, like Jeff Buckley and, you know, Miles Garrett, and, you know, a lot of and then when I started playing professionally, I started getting influenced by the people that I was surrounding myself with. So like a lot of the musicians, whether it be in Frederick, Baltimore, DC, guys that play in my band, guys that play in your band, guys that just, you know, or gals.
It's funny you say that because I really love that your influences were heavily female because, I mean, being a girl in the industry, I feel like it's a lot of the script flip for me, covering a lot of guys' songs. And that's one thing that is very impressive, I think, about your performances is not only that you throw in a girl's song now and then, hey, I can do this, a lot of your set is female material.
Yeah, I do enjoy it. I mean, a lot of it is because it's challenging for me.
It is, and it's cool to watch, I think.
I have a good time with it for sure, and people seem to react positively to it. So yeah, I definitely enjoy that for sure. But yeah, like I said, and when it comes to being a musician, like, you know, I'm influenced by everyone that, you know, is better than me. I guess it's very humbling to me to try to strive to be at the, you know, to step up my game and try to be as, you know, the best I can. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
What's something like a fun fact that we should know about you?
Let's see. A fun fact. Well, I guess.
Just kind of something interesting about you.
Well, it's not necessarily a fun fact, but I guess what I want people, you know, to know about me is that I'm very nice to people. I'm very, like I said, humble. I treat people with respect. I would expect people to do the same to me. That's kind of how I do business, how I live my life, and that's what I want people to.
I get that right away. I love that before we met each other, we knew of each other.
Yeah.
And so when we first met, it was really cool, and I think that is a good sense of the Frederick music community. Mostly has that really amiable, we're all in this together kind of attitude. I think
so
that's
too.
super cool. So we've got some people jumping on here. Mindy Miller. Hi, Mindy. We have Tyler.
What up, Tyler? T-Holes.
Okay, and then, hey, Karen, she's from a very famous local band, winner of new Best Band in Frederick, Karen of the Reagan Years.
What up?
Hey, Karen, how's it going?
Thanks for watching.
Yeah, we got Bill. We got a couple other people on here. We're having some time catching up on here. So if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask your questions on here, too. We'd love to answer those. So what are your current goals? Like some things that you're working on as far as adding songs to the set list or even personally, you know?
Yeah, well, over the last couple of years, I've been working harder and harder on, you know, building a reputation, trying to get booked as many places as I can, kind of, you know, spreading my name, my band, getting out there as much, you know. And I guess my goals for this year and for the future in general is just to keep going.
That's awesome.
Just to, the more places that I get to play, the more people I get to meet, the more relationships I get to build, the more fun this whole thing becomes. And it's one of my favorite things about playing music in general. It's just, how many people I've met, and I truly love that about this. And I'm very fortunate to be able to do it, for sure.
Definitely. So covers versus originals. This is like the age-long debate as a musician, right? As a performer. So
well, I think,
how do you approach them?
I think most people around Frederick would know me as my band is a cover band. When I play live, I usually just play covers. That doesn't mean I haven't written songs. A couple of years ago, I did a lot of writing, or tried to do a lot of writing. I would play at a lot of open mics, and I was never really that comfortable with the stuff that I was writing. I was really new at it, and it's something that I kind of, set aside for a couple of years. And
right.
When I play live, I look at every show as an opportunity for me to get better and to try to grow as a musician, as a singer, as an artist. And I think eventually, there's been so many things that have happened in my life and that happen on a daily basis that would, kind of influence me or push me in a direction towards writing. And I think eventually I'll get to that. But right now, like I said, I'm just trying to grow as a musician.
Well, you're so busy. When do you have time to write?
For sure. I mean, and that's definitely part of it. And I like to just continue to play, and I think one day that stuff will it'll happen naturally. I'm looking forward to that.
So speaking of that, where can we find you? Where are you playing? I know your calendar is full. What are some of your rooms around here? Maybe not around here.
Yeah, I mean, as far as downtown Frederick is concerned, I play at Cellar Door on Wednesday nights. I'm at Bushballers, Firestones on Thursday nights. My band plays at Bushballers. We'll be there this Saturday night.
This Saturday? Okay, cool.
We play at JoJo's.
I'm going to see you there. How late do you play on Saturday?
We play till 1:30.
Okay, I'll be there because we play at the fairgrounds for Best of Frederick. Nice. So I think that is now going to be the official after party for Best of Frederick. Okay, because that thing wraps up at 11 or something. So we're just going to go see Dan afterwards.
Plugging
official announcement right now live. It's not been approved, but that's happening.
But yeah, so I mean, I'll play anywhere in downtown Frederick that has me, and I've been playing in Baltimore and DC, Northern Virginia. I try to go to any place that I can that'll, and I like to stay close, but yet try to branch out a little bit and tap into some different markets other than just Frederick, because Frederick is my home and that's where I prefer to stay.
Yeah.
I enjoy staying. I live here. I get to play here. It's
very welcoming.
It is.
We're lucky to be in a big city that has so many different rooms to play, such a big vibrant art scene, but it's still kind of has that hometown feel.
And over the years, I've had a lot of people come out to a lot of shows, and I'm real appreciative of that, and that's been really awesome. It's been a lot of fun to do, and like I said, meeting all these people, and it's been great.
So I'm just looking to see. I think our tablet froze up here, so
we do have some good questions.
We have some behind the scenes people that can help us with these questions. Yeah.
Favorite cover song?
Favorite cover song?
Yeah, your cover artist.
Favorite cover song?
I think I started playing Africa by Toto a couple of years ago. And it's kind of funny because one, that's a very difficult song to sing. But I think when I started playing that song, we were playing in front of an older generation, and they really appreciate that song because that's what they grew up listening to. And it's funny to see how that song has kind of, really stuck with the younger generations that really like that song too. It's just everybody loves that song. It's just really popular and it's fun to play.
It's a sing along. It's an anthem.
People love that song. They love that song.
Okay, what other? We're still froze up.
What are Dan's thoughts on helping to make the music scene bigger and better? How can we, as musicians,
who asked that question? Better? That's a good question.
That is from Sean Sandy.
Sean Sandy, great question, Sean. Shout out.
Yeah, I think I would still categorize the Frederick music scene as up and coming. I think it's come a long way in the last 10 years, probably. I mean, I've been around for the last 6 or 7 years, like I said earlier, but like Ashley said, there's a ton of rooms, there's a ton of places for musicians to play. I just think, unfortunately, if you want to get recognized in a larger scale, you have to say that you're from DC or you have to say you're from Baltimore. So I think there's a lot of things that are happening in Frederick that are beneficial to the local music scene. I think I think a lot of younger kids, a lot of younger bands are coming up, and even the ones that are more established. I mean, the stuff that's been going on last week at the Weinberg Center with the Frederick Music Showcase. I think it's a good thing for these smaller bands to play these bigger venues. And I think, like what Ashley and I were talking about, like, you know, it's a pretty tight-knit group for the most part, and we're all on the same team. And the more we support each other and come out to see each other and, you know, talk about each other on social media and everything, I think that's just going to help the scene grow.
Yeah, what we're doing right now.
I think this is good.
This is, you know, to answer your question, this is what Dan's doing. He agreed to be our first, they call him guinea pig, but I said you're special, you're number one. Dan. So, is there any way we can get this going again? Here we go.
A follow-up question to that: are you concerned about saturation in Frederick?
It's funny because
Who asked that question? I think it's
That was from Cy Seiler.
Great. And what was the question again?
Are you concerned about saturation in Frederick?
Saturation, like playing too much in Frederick versus kind of, you did mention trying to get your name in other cities.
I've because, you know, most of the bars that I play at are within a block of each other. And, you know, I try my best to interact with the crowd, and I take a lot of requests, and I try to, you know, kind of see who's out there, and so I guess saturation would kind of be something that I'd be worried about, but it hasn't really been a problem.
Okay.
I think.
But you're definitely open to playing outside of Frederick.
Oh yeah. But I think, you know, to answer that question, like, the more people come out and see me or anybody that's playing on a regular basis, because there's a lot of guys that are playing a lot of the same places week after week.
Right.
And I think the more that you guys come out to support us, the more that kind of.
So you're still looking to build that regular crowd.
Yeah,
in Frederick.
I think that's what is making Frederick kind of the scene that it is, and how it's helping it grow. And I mean, more people are coming to Frederick. Frederick's growing.
That's true.
Exponentially.
Definitely.
So I think, you know, I don't see saturation being a problem. I think the more artists that are coming here and playing, it's just going to bolster the scene. I think it's a good thing.
Okay, awesome. All right, so let's get back to some of our questions real quick. So this is a fun one, I think. What was your oddest gig?
Oddest gig? Let's see. Well, my bass player, Scott Reed, and I played a gig in Cumberland, Maryland, probably 3 or 4 years ago at a place called the Cumberland Outdoors Club.
Okay.
And it was a gigantic building, a gigantic room with a little tiny bar.
Cumberland, Western Maryland, very far away from the civilization of Frederick. Beautiful railroad town.
Yeah. It was just, that was definitely odd. The crowd was odd. The vibe was odd.
Right.
Traveling 3 hours.
Unless
2
someone
hours
is
away.
watching now that was there, then they were the not.
No, I don't think that's going to be a problem. But if it is, I'm not saying anything bad about it.
Yeah.
It was just it was odd for sure.
Yeah.
But.
Okay, cool. What was one of your most memorable gigs?
Well, I've had a couple gigs that my band did in DC that were in front of crowds that were, you know, like maybe 10, 15,000 people.
Mm-hmm.
Those gigs were awesome. It was really nice to play in front of a crowd that big, but I think my most memorable gig would have been at Alive at 5 2 years ago. It had to, you know, personally, it was just really nice because the crowd was huge.
Yes.
It was a lot of, you know, my friends and family and people that have been following me for the last couple of years, and it was just nice. It was like kind of the culmination of my career up to that point, and to have such a good turnout.
So for people who don't know, I know we have some people tuning in that aren't in the Frederick area. Alive at 5, Alive at 5 is a local happy hour beer garden on the creek, and gets a great turnout. But definitely, if you have a local presence, like you were saying, you've been working to build. Mm-hmm. It's a better reaction.
Yeah,
I was there. It was fantastic.
For sure. Thank you. Yeah, that was
that was your most memorable gig.
That was a great gig for sure. Yeah.
Okay, great. Do we have any questions from participants right now? We're still working on that. Sorry if you're asking a question, we are trying to get to it. We've got several devices that they're working on right now. I think it's the fantastic weather. Probably the heat has slowed down all our devices. It's a little hot here in the studio today. So Some questions specific to you.
Okay.
Solo versus full band. Now, I see you most full band, most solo, not full band.
Okay.
And I will comment that I love how you work the crowd, and you, like you said, you have great energy. You feed off the crowd. You're silly.
Yeah.
You take requests. We know that when you're in a full band, sometimes you can lose that chemistry, or even then sometimes it becomes better because you have other musicians. How would you compare them, solo versus full band?
Yeah, well, I would definitely say that full band shows, it's easier to get the crowd engaged. Not so much as if it's just a solo gig and they're just sitting having a couple drinks, that's one thing. I'm definitely a little bit more animated on stage when I'm with my band.
Okay.
I tend to move around a lot, and I play louder. I mean, I have to for obvious reasons.
And do you want to shout out who are the members of your band?
Yeah, Dan McGuire group, Scott Reed on bass, Tyler Bish on drums,
Yeah.
Shelby Abb on lead guitar. If you guys are watching him,
Yeah.
I'm really fortunate to play with some really talented guys that
Yes.
that help the band do some pretty awesome things. But solo gigs, I mean, I enjoy them for a lot of different reasons. They're a little bit more calm. They're a little bit more relaxed.
Mm-hmm.
Can be. I mean, there's obviously, I played some gigs in front of some pretty rowdy crowds.
Yeah.
And it's that I feed off the energy of.
How do you
of the
handle
crowd.
that? Have you ever had like a crowd that you felt like you had to jump in some kind of
Well, it's
someone
usually,
control, or do you kind of like it?
I usually like I said, like I'll take that energy, whether it's good or bad, and I'll try to
Right.
play a song that gets them going in one direction or the other. I've
Awesome.
never really had any issues with crowds getting too aggressive, but I mean, I used to play gigs in Baltimore where it was $15 all you could drink, and
Oh man,
the crowd would get,
where was that?
this was in Baltimore at a
Oh.
place called Mad River. Doesn't exist
Matt,
anymore.
I remember Mad River. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, and they would get pretty rowdy. But it's just, you just kind of feed off that energy and just kind of use it to your advantage. That's what I've been pretty good at. And
Okay,
fortunate
I
at.
think I'll just actually take it if you want. Let's get some more questions going. All right, this way I can give everybody some shout outs. Okay, cool. So, hey Shelby, met you at a gig. Kenny's watching.
Shelby's my guitar player.
Sai says thank you. Okay. There we go. This is good. We kind of answered this one, but Tyler also wants to know, what's one of your biggest accomplishments thus far in your music career?
Biggest accomplishments. I mean, I guess it's not necessarily one thing in particular. Playing as many gigs as I do, the fact that certain places that I play at, or even other places, want me back.
Yeah.
It's kind of an honor to have these places, want me month after month, or in some places week after week.
And that's a good way to address that question if they
it's-
keep wanting you.
It's something that I've worked really hard. I mean, I take my reputation very seriously. I want people to know that I treat it like a job, but I still have fun doing it, and I want people to have a good time. I want to entertain, and I want to play music. I mean,
that's why we're all here.
That's what I want to do.
That's okay. Favorite cover song.
We already did that one.
You did that one?
Toto,
Okay,
Africa.
wait. Here we
Yeah.
go. These are all coming in. Hey, Lindsay Wakefield. Hey, Lindsay. How's it going? All right. Hey, Keith Valonis. How are you today?
Ooh.
He comes to a lot of shows. I know that for a fact. Okay, cool. Tell us a little bit about your wedding band.
Yeah, well, the wedding band kind of happened by accident. We played a gig at JoJo's in Frederick a couple years ago, and there was a couple there, and they approached me, and they were like, we're getting married in May or next year or whenever it was, and
Had you played weddings before at that point?
not really.
Okay, so this was all new to you.
Yeah, but
And for the musicians watching, they know weddings are a totally different game. In so many awesome ways, I think.
Good and bad.
Yeah.
But once that happened, we started getting referrals from other people. My roommate from college is a DJ. I don't know if Smitty's watching, but
Let's see. We have a lot of folks on here right now.
he's a DJ, and so
Hey, Smitty.
we set up our wedding band so that it's a band and a DJ playing back to back, and it kind of took off last year.
That's great.
To the point where we just won a Couples Choice Award for Wedding Wire.
Oh, yay.
we-
That's good. That's
yeah.
an accomplishment. That's a great...
We're booking weddings in different states in 2019 through, I mean, it took off more than I anticipated. And I don't necessarily want to be known as a wedding singer, but they're awesome.
I mean, I pride myself in it. Adam Sandler is fantastic.
Weddings are really great because, I mean, it's we get to meet the couples, we get to spend a lot of time with them beforehand,
Yeah.
we get to, spend one of the most important days of their entire lives. And
Do you have couples that have date nights after they've been married and come out and watch you again together?
Yeah, we've had a couple of those. The ones that are local for sure. And just to hear the response from them, thank you for making our day special, like that.
Yeah.
That means a lot to me. And so yeah, I mean, I don't want to just exclusively play weddings. I like kind of mixing it up.
For
but,
sure.
But I definitely think it's it's cool to be a part of someone's.
Does the material stay the same? Do you kind of change the set list up for each
couple?
couple?
We definitely change the set list up. I mean, our band, we definitely offer to take requests from the bride beforehand, so we have time to learn them. And if there's a specific song, we do a lot of first dance songs too, which are.
What's a good first dance song?
Well, the cool thing is that we've never had one. That we've never done the same one twice.
Oh, that's very
cool.
cool.
A lot of them are very personal to them.
Yeah, and you'll learn that song for the couple.
Absolutely.
That's super
Absolutely.
cool. I think that's cool. All right, hey Tom from TFLO Productions.
Hey Tom.
We've got some good questions here. Let's see. You already talked about your band members.
Yeah, they're all.
Is that Sherry wants you to say how fabulous they are? But I think you did that, so that's good.
They're pretty fabulous.
No picking favorites. Though,
Yeah, no,
right?
I don't want to do that, but no, I'm very lucky to have met the people that I have and to call them members of my band. It's pretty sweet.
Okay, so Shelby has a question. Dan, I know you really love metal music. Have you ever thought about devoting more time to writing and playing in that genre rather than what you're doing now, considering the fact that it's harder to make it in that world? That's a very good question. The originals versus covers debate again, but with
well,
metal.
I think I have a good thing going with as far as playing music, and like I'm fortunate enough to make money doing what I'm doing, and I think that's what a lot of people's biggest fear is when they venture off into writing music, is that can they sustain it? Can it be something, because it's one thing to just sit down and write, but if you really want to take it seriously, you got to think about touring and
Sure.
and it just there's a lot of money that goes involved to it. I do want to write music for sure. I think I know enough musicians, especially metal musicians, that I think it could be something that would be a lot of fun. I would love to do it, and like I said, one day I hope to be able to devote enough time to.
So stand by. Sometimes you got to make that money before you can spend that money.
And I think that's
time is money.
That's one of the things that I'm doing right now, is that all the music, all the weddings, everything that I'm doing is kind of funding what I want to eventually do.
That's perfect, and that's the way to do it.
And I don't plan on stopping anytime soon. I mean, this is I'm taking gigs left and right. It's. So yeah, I mean, I'd like to think that everything that I'm doing now is going to eventually fund what I'm going to venture into in the future.
That's if your writing passion, that's metal. I didn't know that about you, Dan. That's a fun fact about Dan. I hear him singing Taylor Swift. I did not know he was a metal guy.
I listen to a lot of metal.
What's your name a metal band that you're super into?
Well, I'm really into progressive metal.
Okay.
And there's actually a band that's from Maryland. They're from the Bethesda, DC area, the Periphery. They're my favorite.
I love Periphery.
They're my favorite band by far.
Those are great guys.
There's a couple guys from the area that are friends with them. I mean, they're awesome, and they're doing really good things for the genre. I mean, there's a ton of bands in that genre that I could list off right now, but I'll just stick with that one.
All right, that's a good choice. Very good. Periphery, check them out if you haven't heard of them. Jason's on, Chris is on, Chuck is on. Hi, Erica. That's my girl with Getting the Gig, talent agency bands. Erica's awesome. Hi, Miss Sue. We got a lot of good people on here. Sai has another question. This is a good one. What venue? I know. This is a tricky one. What venue has treated you the best?
Ooh.
I know, right? Because they might be watching. We don't know.
Well, again, this kind of goes back to my my whole thing about my reputation and building relationships. I wouldn't say that there's one that's treats me better.
Oh,
or
he's
less
so
than the other.
diplomatic.
No, I'm serious though. Like, I
What are a few then? You can name more than one.
Well, I mean, I think the ones that I've been playing at the longest.
So Bushwallers?
Bushwallers, Firestones, JoJo's.
Okay.
As far as downtown Frederick is concerned, those
Yeah.
are the ones that I've had relationships with for 5-6 years.
Bushwallers, Firestones, JoJo's. Not picking favorites. Okay, Chris Crosby. Chris is the drummer in Vinyl Rhino. Hey, Chris. He says, your beard is on point. Keep up the good work. I think we're ready to hear a song. Hi, Sam. Lived next to you in college. Heard you sing for a few nights and always knew that you Dreamed of playing in front of a crowd. Glad you're living your dream. Keep up the great work. Aw, that's inspirational. Thanks, Sam.
Thanks, Sam. Appreciate it, man.
Okay, so we have a couple other questions, but I think we do need to get to a song. So Dan is going to perform live for us right now. So tell us a little about what are you going to play for us?
Well, we talked about how I was influenced by a lot of female singers, so I'm going to do an Amy Winehouse tune.
Ah, cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
All right. What are you playing today?
Yeah, so
Here at Making Music.
shameless making music plug here. This is my Taylor GS Mini that I picked up here.
And you're a Taylor guy, right?
About a
That's what
month
they tell
ago.
me here at Making Music.
I
You
am.
buy the Taylors.
I got this guitar, like I said, a little over a month ago.
Okay.
It's a small guitar, but it's got huge sound.
That's great for traveling.
It's really good for solo gigs,
Mhm.
traveling, sitting around practicing.
Yeah.
I get all my Taylors here at Making Music. Their staff is incredible. They're super knowledgeable. I've been coming here since I first moved to Frederick about 15 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And I've always, bought, sold,
Mm-hmm.
traded, everything I can do here. I've done. This is my favorite local music store for sure, and I'm happy to have been a part of this. And thanks for
Yeah, and thanks so much for being our first guest. So,
Yeah.
you know what we're trying to do here? Just promote the local music scenes. This is Local Live. We're at Making Music, and this is Dan McGuire.
Meet you downstairs in the bar and heard your rolled up sleeves and your scone t-shirts. And what did you do with him today? And sniff me out like I was Tanqueray. 'Cause you're my fella, my guy. Yeah, me, you're still and fly. By the time you're out the door, you tear man down like Roger Moore. I cheated myself, like I knew I would. I told you I was trouble. You know that I'm no good. Upstairs in bed with my ex-boy. He's in the place, but I can't get joy. Thinking on you in the final throes. This is where my buzzer goes. Run out to meet you, chance to pitter. You say when we marry, 'cause you're not bitter. There'll be none of him no more. I cried for you on the kitchen floor. I cheated myself, like I knew I would. I told you I was trouble. You know that I'm no good. Sweet reunion, Jamaica and Spain. We like how we were again. I'm in the tub, you on the sea. Lick your lips as I soak my feet. And you notice like a carpet burn. My stomach turns and like a churn. You struck and it's the worst. Who truly stuck the knife in first? I cheated myself, like I knew I would. I told you I was trouble. You know I'm no good. I cheated myself, like I knew I would. I told you I was trouble. Oh, you know I'm no good.
Dan McGuire, everybody.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody.
Local Live. We'll see you next time when we have the girls from Southern Charm on, and we're pretty excited about that. So tune in next month for Local Live here at Making Music in downtown Frederick for Southern Charm, and be sure and check out Dan McGuire this Saturday night. See you guys.
Thanks, guys.